Well, hello everybody. Tonight we're going to go through a lot. It's a major, powerful video. We're going to go through several key topics tonight live. Stuff that should be out of a fiction novel, but is 100% accurate, true. We're going to go through all the parties, their presentations, their platforms. Regardless of what you say, it's all about what's in writing, not what is said to you on social media, on paid media and TV. In Canada, politicians lie repeatedly, often, every day of their lives. They tell Canadians, First Peoples, all kinds of promises. Seldom do they ever deliver, if any at all. And usually when they do, it comes with a pile of strings attached, or absolute portions of policy left out entirely, magically forming once they get into government. Because the truth is never what they say. It's always exactly the opposite. Canada, number one on the chopping block here, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't matter if you're a first person or a Canadian citizen inside the second and third class. Doom, destruction, all of it. Now, all governments, everything aside, the end user, the third class, and the First Peoples in Canada are the ultimate sufferers of whether it's a carbon tax, whether it's carbon pricing, or whether it's the green equalization formula. Never is it ever about anything but oppressing a group of peoples. That's what your government does. This video is going to go through a lot of topics under energy poverty, going into Joe Biden and Boris Johnson, the latest today, breaking news, and we're going to go through itemized in this title. We're going to go through it step by step through this video. Once concluded, I'm going to open it up to questions. If you want to post your questions now, go ahead. At the end, I will try to scroll through it. And in fact, I may have to get Tina upstairs to come down and go through that on her phone, because I don't always get to see what you guys are typing till after I publish the video. It's a real bad part of the meta universe, and it's also a bad part of Facebook when they render their patrons unable to share or reduce them in platform, which is my standing. They still have me on reduced activity, but I still hit the truth. I don't care. So we're going to start with this. I list right in the title clearly, energy poverty. What does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? That means an intentional policy by an elected or appointed government set of officials, usually foreign influence, that has everything to do with corporations, oligarchs, like they like to point at Russia, but oligarchs that control your energy, meaning it's been privatized or could be even owned, certain levels of it, by government. But the user fees, the distribution, all of it goes sky high. They regulate new policy, craft new policy until energy that should be abundant and should be cheap becomes unaffordable to the average citizen. Right now, on sustainable development, through green agenda saying that, oh, we're going to save the world, we're going to stop global warming or global climate change, whatever narrative they want to use. We've had snowball Earth many times, the whole globe, in the history of life on Earth. Just since life on Earth, snowball Earths happened. There's been massive ice ages. There's been complete melt-offs, record-breaking temperatures that have had not an ounce of ice on this world. High water world. We've seen this time and time again. Planet Earth is constantly under climate change. Always in a day. There's been way higher carbon in the atmosphere than there is now. Way more toxins. It's measured. The science proves it. It's easy when you want to do a socialism or entertain, again, energy poverty, making it so all citizens in the world starve for energy and will do anything to get it, pay any sum, work hard for a wealthy group of citizens. This is usually absolute socialisms. Historically, the crown has always been this way. Class structure. There was a time in the British Empire when small chunks of coal had to be sparingly used to heat homes. In old Great Britain, the third-class peasants literally froze and starved to death in the streets because all of their working wealth went into small portions of cheap coal. And there was pollution. There was all these atrocities that led to all kinds of sicknesses and disease. But energy poverty is a milestone marker of absolutely the crown colonial empires. And we're seeing it come alive today. One Joe Biden tagged with Boris Johnson today outlined the ICJ. I know I'm going to the end, but I'm bringing it forward to get everybody prepared to what we're going to get into here. So they crucify Russia, saying they're ignoring the ICJ. I have a news flash, Canadians. Canada quit the ICJ in 1993. Under Jean Chrétien, agreed to by the preceding government, Brian Mulroney. There's no difference. No difference in the crown architecture of Canada when it comes to Liberal, Conservative, NDP bloc, PPC, Green Party. The list goes on and on and on. Because there's only one law in Canada. That is the law of the first-class citizen to rule over all of you. And when ICJ threatened the very existence of Canada going forward in 1993, quickly after the fall of South Africa, Canada wrote a letter with their UN rep and quit the ICJ forever. And we're running down Russia, a UNSCP 5 member, who is judge, jury, executioner, along with the other four. You're running them down for choosing not to participate. They're still a member of the ICJ. Canada wrote definitive in 1993, remove us from the ICJ. We will not comply with what happened to South Africa. Us, the first-class politicians elected and appointed in our system, will kill, murder, rape any child in Canada, commit vicious human rights violations anytime we want, and we will not be held accountable. Not by nobody. Because we, the first-class politicians in the year of 1993, all Liberals, all Conservatives, all NDP, in resounding majority voted, along with Quebec's separatist parties, voted the First People will never see any kind of human rights, not any real ones, ever in Canada going forward. They're no good than the black Africans are not human beings. Those savages must die. Those children will be raped, murdered, and used in any means the first class justifies. In all kinds of manners, the first class justifies. That is the truth, Canadians. Do not point the finger at Russia. Go look at the truth. Canada is not and has not been a member since 1993. Everything Boris Johnson, the Dutch, and Justin Trudeau today are saying against Russia, Canada did in 1993 and more. They quit because they didn't want to be held to justice. They believe that the taxpayer slave working Joe Janes will pay for all their crimes, and they will continue to commit them over and over and over again, administering fake international law over all the peoples of Canada in the second, third, and Indian class peoples. That's all there is. The Canadian Indian is below the third class. They're below the third class if you look at third class as a slave. There's the savage underneath that even. Both of them you can weigh them out which is worse, but I promise you it's all bad. Now, there are 3 platforms here. 3 dirty, rotten, filthy politicians running the show here in Canada. 4 technically when you put in Bloc. There is Justin Trudeau with the overwhelming carbon tax, driving energy costs through the roof. Already in parts of Canada, over $2 a litre in gas. Energy, electricity, whether it's hydro, fossil, regardless of all of it, has been driven up to the point it's not sustainable for the third class, let alone any of the Canadian Indians. Not affordable, meaning in the wages today, you will be homeless or greatly reduced. People going forward in the standard of living we have versus the cost of living that is right here in front of us. When you analyze those, Canadians, you can say goodbye to any measure of middle class. What is middle class? Separate, detached, 1-car garage with a 4-bedroom with 1 full bathroom and a half bathroom. A home, a house. If you don't have that in Canada and you can't get there, you are not in the middle class, because there's no more such thing as middle class. None of the millennial generation, all of the XYZ subsequents, have no ability to reach that. Unless you're of the first class, doctor, lawyer, dentist, any of the government positions of an advanced degree, meaning more than 4 years in a high-level university. If you are not there, you are never going to see the middle class. The days of my generation are over for a resounding majority, and it all has to do with energy poverty that we're going to analyze. We're all seeing it. Justin Trudeau's carbon tax, his extreme inflation, unprecedented immigration, with vast sums of taxpayer-funded loans to make sure all the new immigrants have access to everything that is Canada, driving the inflation out of reality, impoverishing all Canadians, and devaluing the future generations of all the millennials and every generation coming forward. No more middle class, only the first class. Everybody else is going to be impoverished. Low income to absolute poverty. That is the future. Just look at the prices of natural gas, a home, your clothing, your food, your energy needs. Energy is what creates all of it. Without energy or affordable energy, you don't have any measurable real standard of living going forward. None of us do. None of us do. The second class can pass the buck, but at what point do they lose all their domestic customers? And then at what point is it international businesses take over all of the second class, which is Canada now? All foreign businesses. It's coming, folks. It's coming fast. You've watched it unfold in the pandemic. Well, now, with energy poverty absolutely front and center on your doorstep, that's a reality. Now, that's Justin Trudeau, the living reality of carbon tax. Now, Pierre Poilievre tells all of you, conservative, going to be leader. Trust me on this. Candice Bergen, that's showpiece. The reality is he was groomed for it. Pierre Poilievre, principal participant with Harper, Jason Kenney, and all the rest of them. Lifetime Privy Council member, Pierre's already been chosen. You can go use the voting machines. You can do the 20 rounds of voting, first, second, and third. But I promise you it's already been programmed inside the Conservative Party. Pierre Poilievre is going to be the clear winner. Don't even have to question it. That's the reality. What is Pierre Poilievre's in-writing stance? We've heard it out of his mouth. He tells you everything you want to hear. The biggest, fattest liar since Alberta's Jason Kenney. Nothing he says is remotely true. Let me tell you what's in writing. Carbon pricing passed the buck. Oh yes, he will end all the liberal taxes, all the carbon taxes, and turn it into carbon pricing in the private sector for all of his great good friends. You will be paying literally what was $250 to $500 home heating electricity will be $1,100 to $1,200. You can kiss your homes goodbye, many mass of the population. Carbon pricing, no difference. It's called end user, the average Joe Jane. Remember, energy poverty is about high cost of homes, food, shelter, clothing, and energy. Because energy makes all those things happen. It allows you to work and make a living. He is going to put massive carbon pricing schemes in that equal the liberals, so that anyone who wants to own a home or have a family, you will pay so much you're going to have to live in a one-bedroom split. Get used to Hong Kong, UK's Hong Kong. If you haven't seen Coffin City, that's where Toronto and Montreal are going for a vast amount of the population. At least millennial and under. The XYZs, all finished, everybody. All finished. Carbon tax direct, carbon pricing behind your back. You will pay it because the price of all your goods go up. The housing market will just go up. Energy bills will just go up. Food will just go up. The food producers aren't going to pay. They're going to transfer it to the cost of what it costs to collect apples and deliver them to the supermarket. An apple will double. Your energy bills will double. That's carbon pricing. There is no difference between carbon tax and carbon pricing. One's in your face as a third class. The other's behind your back, administered by all the companies. And you will watch, in that system, all domestics disappear too, and foreign companies take over. Because they won't be subject to it. See? There is no difference between conservative and liberal at this point. This is where it gets even scarier. As bad as it is right now with liberals, just as bad as it will be with conservatives, one of them's going to get elected next time, probably Pierre Poilievre. But here's the outer, scarier side. The Bloc Québécois and the NDP. Who extreme socialism under crown, divine socialism, the worst kind. They promise green equalization, meaning only certain parts of the country pay the overwhelming tax that goes into a pool and is redistributed to all their friends. And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, you just never know when Bloc and NDP could all of a sudden use that when all the pressure starts to mount in Montreal, starts to mount in the GTA, and maybe, just maybe, all of a sudden NDP becomes the popular, Bloc becomes popular in Quebec, and all of a sudden you see a sheet transfer for the green equalization, because those large cities like Vancouver, who's paying over $220 now, a lot of those people don't want to pay. And if there could be an equalization formula for Green New Deal, they might turn as well and switch and vote NDP. You just never know how scary this can get. Meaning all rural and all low-life degenerate provinces like Alberta, Northern BC, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, all the First Peoples of the Arctic, Inuit, will all be broken, beaten, and destroyed to make that happen. That's the NDP and Bloc. It can get worse. Green equalization. Already presented by Francois Legault and backed up by Yves Blanchet. They're already getting Indigenous status. Look what Trudeau has promised. Do you see Pierre Poilievre going against that? No, he wants to win Quebec. Do you see Pierre Poilievre shutting any of these things down? No, he wants to win Ontario, his home base, Ottawa. Where do all the leaders live? Oh yeah, Jagmeet Singh, Vancouver, British Columbia, right there on the Green New Deal coast. Yves Blanchette, Green New Deal, Quebec. Quebec only Quebec matters in Canada. He's Green New Deal. He's in Quebec. Where does Pierre Poilievre live? Where does his heart? Oh yeah, Ottawa. Oh yeah, Ottawa. He could give two shits about the rest of the country. And then Justin Trudeau, Quebecois. Canadians, First Peoples. There is only one narrative in this country, Upper and Lower Canada, with the idea of Cascadia and Caledonia. If you don't live in Cascadia and Caledonia, Upper or Lower Canada, you don't mount to nothing in this country. You are garbage, and you will suffer huge injustices. In fact, complete genocidal, psychotic, institutionalization not seen since Nazi Germany. What's going on in the world today is absolutely what Canada is. Russia's autocratic. I don't like their system, but they're a heck of a lot better. And they have an excellent track record all the way through the UN of doing tremendously good things for the entire world. All the P5 do. It is not in the realm of reality to look at Russia as being anything but honorable. And I know a lot of people are being fooled by the media, by the Canadian government. As we watch Justin Trudeau, all the parties, I promise you, Jagmeet Singh, Aaron O'Toole did, and now Pierre Poilievre, can listen to all of them. They all support what's going on with Boris Johnson. Now, Canadians, we're going to get into the bread and butter here. All First People, we're going to get into the bread and butter. This is the reality. Boris Johnson and Joe Biden, Green New Deal lovers, all about the slavery. Joe Biden has betrayed America. I don't think he's going to survive in House and Senate come midterms. He's gone. You're going to watch that House and Senate flip. He'll become an impotent president, but he'll still have executive power on full foreign policy, executive orders. Terrible. It's something that should be amended in the American Constitution. The Founding Fathers, everybody, never suspected in their wildest dreams, never foreshadowed that a president could be such a traitor to the American people. They never believed that any president could ever get into bed with the Crown and the former Commonwealth. They never believed it. How could you? How could you ever even forecast that? 250 years later, we watch a series of presidents from George H. Bush onward. Since the fall of Richard Nixon, we've watched it grow. And absolutely, 2012, the signing of the Commonwealth Charter of 2012, and then the Atlantic Charter, just cemented by Boris Johnson and one dirty Joe Biden, who betrayed every American. The man is the worst disgusting president in a massive 70-plus year history of the United States of America. And now he tells everybody, oh, we got to do this. So does the brave Boris Johnson, who tag teams with Canada and the Dutch. Canada quit the ICJ, and you're going to run Russia down about the ICJ? Wow, Boris. That's like the slave master calling down the father for disciplining his child as he's whipping a whole bunch of children. You know what I mean? Gross, sick, disgusting. This video goes into everything that you need to know going forward, because this is the reality of Canada. Absolute poverty. Pushed by the royal family, supported now 110% by a massive con artist, Boris Johnson, a massive dictator and tyrant in his own right. He was just embarrassed tonight by real Western media now. BBC hits him, everybody, with why are there not massive influx of Ukrainian refugees? You've been embarrassed, Boris Johnson. You and your little comrades here are liars. Who's the real agent of the Axis. Boris Johnson has been busted today. Even the media is busting him. Bloomberg, BBC. You can look, there's Democrats running away from the Democrat Party right now. Anti-American. No doubt House and Senate are going to fall. There are entire communities, entire states that can never vote Democrat again with the new boundary changes following what I talked about when Donald Trump lost and what he did to breach the Constitution. I told everybody the path for America going forward. And you know what? A lot of states, a lot of the great academic institutions, this is happening right now. We've watched as the narrative, it was illegal for Donald Trump to try and change the college electorate. It is privy constitutional law and authority of each and every state. And guess what, folks? That work I did, along with many American Republicans mostly, and actually quite a few Democrats too, it's gone forward. Four states are changing their boundaries. It's unbelievable, it's incredible, it's great. It's not going to be mainstream news because nobody wants you to hear it, but this is reality. Congressional mapping, privy of the college electorate, the division of power of the states. Canada, we can fix ourselves. But it means ending all this. It means doing the residential school genocide. It means joining with the PCC, Party of the Canadian Constitutionalists, and getting something real done. The chiefs have the power. Everything Canada is stripped from the First Peoples, they're the ones ultimately with the power right now today, just in a few months, to change Canada forever for everybody. But it means letting go of all colonialism. Once you start that, there is no, well, we like this part, we don't like that part. It means scrapping all of it, settling the claims and not being fearful. There's so much provided by, yes, Russia, yes, China, yes, the United States of America, and yes, old UK and old France since World War II. And even France now, I mean, I'm going to say that the biggest enemy right now, proven today, head out there like a bright shining light, is Boris Johnson, who's going to be fired. I don't think. He has lost so much of his inner circle, and loyal minds, great minds of the UK, have ran away from him. The Atlantic Charter, Joe Biden is going to go through it too. He's already lost his House and Senate, and he thinks with a war against for Ukraine against Russia, that's exactly how he's going to win it. Populism. He is 10 times worse than Donald Trump. 10 times worse. What Donald Trump did was wrong. It was a breach of the Constitution, inexcusable for any president in the United States of America. Donald Trump did that. He needs to bite the bullet on that. But we have dirty Joe Biden 8 times. And now, with what they're trying to do with Russia, it's not technically a breach of the Constitution of the United States of America, but it's absolutely a breach of we the people of the Constitution of the United States of America. And if Americans actually knew what dirty Joe Biden's been doing behind their backs in foreign policy and Unitarianism, Americans would have him impeached tomorrow. We'll see when the House and Senate flips. We're going to see who's the next president to get impeached, because there's some impeachable offenses. How many? Holy smokes. Holy smokes. He makes Donald Trump look like a choir boy. That's the truth. We're going to get into questions now, everybody. I presented that, and I want to hear all your questions. And if I can't scroll them, so far it looks good. It's working, I hope. I'm going, oh, isn't this nice? Maybe for once. Let's see. A lot of people came and went, and there's a lot of people on. Pierre-Paul Ver, James Franklin. Pierre-Paul Ver is a guy who supports handouts to his friends with our money. In real world, a corporation, Pierre would have been charged. Absolutely, James, well said. Real world, James, know what's sad? It's called Crown Customary Law. There is nothing in our Constitution that any of these elected politicians, especially Privy Council lifetime appointed members. Once they're in for life. There is zero accountability. They're legally allowed to lie to you. They can legally steal from you. They can commit all kinds of atrocious crimes, except the gravest of criminal acts. But when it comes to financial, there's literally nothing they can do wrong. Nothing they can do wrong. Because why? Zero codified constitutional accountability. No rules of governance and know how to govern. Whenever they want to steal division of powers from provinces or territories, they just sweeten something for the said premier, who has absolutely zero rules for all of it. They run 100% autocratically. Once they get a majority in any province, there's nothing for 4 years anyone can do to stop them. Doesn't matter how unpopular they get, there are no mechanisms, no provincial or territorial constitutions. Because of that, because of the design of the Crown Customary Law, which is Canada, the 1867 Consolidated Constitution, they left it all in there, giving themselves full and utter autocratic control. Makes Russia look like nothing. At least they're open and honest about their federal autocracy. In Canada, it's a backdoor double deal, and they're tremendously more powerful autocratically than Russia could ever be. Russia could never even be that corrupt, and it really does show, even though Canada does not report corruption to the UN, never has, because in our Constitution, that's not corruption at all. That's wise economic sense from the first class. And as long as Joe Biden and Boris Johnson get their foreign policies enacted in Canada, they're going to allow Canadian politicians to rape, murder, and destroy you and your children. And when I say that, I don't mean figuratively. I mean really rape, murder, sodomize, pedophile, you name it, they can do it. And they have done it. It's been done many, many decades, and they will continue to do this. Because there's any codified rules of governance to stop it. There's no power of the people. We don't exist in the Constitution of Canada. Read the preamble of the 1867. Don't skip ahead like lunatic liars in this country who go charter, charter, and then the first of the 1982. It is a document found almost two-thirds way through the Constitution. You have an embedment called Section B, the Charter, a small portion of a massive document, which two-thirds of it leading up to the Charter tell you how they can override anything and everything, and there's nothing you can do to stop them because you don't even exist. Only the first class exists. Indians are to be destroyed. First class, second class will do whatever the first class says, and they'll scratch their back as long as you follow their rules and do everything they say. If you don't, you're reduced to third class. You know what the third class is? The abused slave. And don't get caught up, or you will receive the firm hand of justice of the first class. Canada is 10 times worse than any communism. Don't ever fool yourself. Communism's bad. I'd never want it. But at least that limited class, and then everybody's one class. Maybe reduced, it may be whatever. I don't like it, but I don't like being a slave class. I'll tell you that right now. And I've lived my whole life that way. And it's going to end. And we can end it. We can all end it together, as was pushed on many nations. It's time to blow off Joe Biden and Boris Johnson. They're going to be old news here pretty soon. And soon, old man Joe Biden's going to be rendered impotent. By November, that man's going to be impotent with his House and Senate. And it just tells the tale of the tape. The days are numbered for dirty old Joe Biden. Thanks, James. I kind of went on a tangent there. Oh, now it's going back to the start of Com News. Canada 2008 took donations. I'm not sure what that is, James. I can't open it. Oh, it's not going through. Might have to get, you know what, it's doing that again. Cheryl McCallum, just say no to any of the current federal parties. They are all corrupt and bought puppets of the WEF. World Economic Forum is corrupted, everybody. But you know what? That's just a platform to sell propaganda. WEF is not the UN. It is, but it's way down on the social economic organ. It's second level down, guys. It's just a group of paid off losers from all over the world. WEF is nothing. WEF only represents countries like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Boris Johnson in his dirty UK, and now Joe Biden in his dirty USA. It's the political actors. And in Canada, they have full autocratic power. Canada is one of the leading worst of the WEF. They all go there, they all get the same narrative, because Canada is the number one payer into that narrative, everybody. I hope you understand that, Cheryl. Your tax dollars from Canada per person per capita are the number one to the WEF. To put it in context, India has 1.4 billion people. They are literally 100 times and some more than Canada in population. But yet, for every $100 we put in, they put in $1. That should terrify you. Per person per capita, that should terrify you. If you don't think Canada is running the NWO, they are. WEF is just one of their institutions they use. Low level of the UN. There are 6 principal organs. WEF's way down here on the second of the principal organs. Not even the first principal organ. WEF is small potatoes, everybody. It's just a place the NWO gets together because they've taken that over. Oh, Mike, I was just looking. Okay, God help us, Dave. I seen a YouTube video of a couple in Russia following the sanctions. They look like they're better off. Russia is self-sufficient in many ways. The world seems upside down right now. It is, Mike. Russia's not the bad guys here. China's not a bad guy. Again, everybody, I do not like civil law socialism. I do not like communism. It's not for me. It's not for most Canadians. We can all agree to that. 1% of the population gravitates to communism. It ain't taken over here. So to stop getting wrapped up. What they're hiding from you, everybody, is the crown. Always been here, but UK and the royal family have gotten much, much stronger. 2012, and then Joe Biden joined the fray, signing the new Atlantic Charter 2021. Read it, compare it to the 1941 Atlantic Charter, and there you will find dirty Joe Biden, Boris Johnson, betraying the allies of World War II. The world isn't upside down. Key allies from World War II are upside down. This has been raging since 1993, but absolutely with severe power 2012, and then the death nail in the coffin was dirty Joe Biden and corrupt Boris Johnson officially bringing the crown and the empire of UK back to the old League of Nations status. If you're afraid, everybody, you should be. But I have tremendous faith in the Allies, and I have tremendous faith in America and the Constitution of America. Believe in God, pray, that's all great. The Creator, good stuff, everybody. But God, the Creator, gives people the power to make the difference. You can all make a difference just by sharing and telling the truth. This isn't complicated. It's a corrupt number of politicians. The ringleader is Canada. Justin Trudeau is the ringleader. He's corrupted Joe Biden. He's corrupted Boris Johnson. Canada was there first. It started with Harper. Don't get so boggled down into Justin Trudeau or Stephen Harper, Pierre Poilievre, Jagmeet Singh, Yves Blanchette. They're all bad. All of them. We can go through. Maxime Bernier, bad. Liar, diseased mind, one of the worst of the worst. He's bad too. He's that kind of liar. That bad. They're all bad and it's true. But don't get boggled down into it. It's the fact we don't have a constitution. It's the fact that we allow the crown power to exist today. That's on all of us spread the news, support the residential genocide narrative going forward. White folks, support First Peoples. Educate, educate, educate. If you know a first person, educate them on what's going to happen. Because I promise you, Boris Johnson can't go against international law. Just like NATO couldn't destroy Russia like everybody was trying to say they were going to. No, the no-fly zone shut down. World War III. I can tell you I'd love to see the crown lose that war, because Germany was the crown, everybody. Colonialism is outlawed in this world, and America's Constitution will not allow any president to take the people down a path of war on crown alone. And there is more than enough evidence to prove that Joe Biden has been bought off by the crown. He is one of them. He wants to destroy America. He wants the 50 state, not the 50 states. He wants to destroy the filibuster. He wants to destroy Senate democracy. And I promise you all, SCOTUS isn't down with Joe Biden. And it doesn't have anything to do with which judges or what. It's called rule of law and the Constitution of the United States of America. So this isn't Canada. There is no King's Court in the United States. SCOTUS is an independent judiciary, one of the strongest ones in the world. God bless the Founding Fathers for that. America will reset itself. Don't be scared, everybody. China's speaking up now. China is blown away. I listened to so many Chinese people painfully translating, and they had a message, which is going to be another video. I don't want to get off topic. Chinese people have a strong message for Westerners, and I'm going to relay that to you. I'm going to do that in another video. But China's waking up. Russia's awoke. Everybody's awoke. Boris Johnson and Joe Biden aren't going to get away with this. They're not going to. And you know what? America for sure is going to reset itself. It always does. The might and the strength of that Constitution and the people of America and civics will right this grievous wrong. They will. Can it come fast enough? No. But I know America isn't charging into battle anytime soon. Too many are going, fuck you, Joe Biden. Fuck you. And even Boris Johnson, many have left him. Joe Biden's bleeding out Democrats like you wouldn't believe. That's the truth. Oh, come on. I hate it when it does this. Might have to get Tina. Oh, here we go. Chad Moffat, what does it take to remove everyone like Iceland did back in the day? You guys, this is what it takes to get the Canadian Indian chiefs who have ground penetrating radar, children's bodies, and residential school genocide. We get that narrative to the UNSC and Canadians, drop all the other mythological baloney, and focus solely on this, the people of Canada. If we can convince every group, every organization, forget right, forget left, forget center. If we all focus on this one task, where there's a check mark of 6, that Canada fails all 6, it will happen for us too, imposed by the UNSCP5. And to put it in perspective, South Africa is a full democracy, full republic, with what a lot of people want for Canada. A lot of you want. And guess what? It was Russia and China that led that resolution and made it happen. I thought they promote communism. I thought they take over countries all over the world. Russia's never been colonial. China's never been colonial. Never. They've been victimized by colonials. The United States of America inherited very limited colonial prospects. Spanish War. But everybody, you gotta learn this, because we're writing this month, and all the Treaty Indian chiefs are gonna get it, and this one will go on YouTube for all Canadians. Remember, America was never really a colonial. Very, very minuscule. They are victims of almost the most amount of colonial attacks than any other country in the world, besides the continent of Africa. Africa, all 7. USA, 5. 5 colonials they defeated on their own. An impossible feat. And now Joe Biden wants to destroy that. He wants to murder the whole memory of the Founding Fathers. Rip up the Constitution, rewrite it. Just like he wants to rip up the UN with his corrupt buddy Boris Johnson and write it in their own narrative. Not on my watch. The UK will bend. USA will fix itself. It's just a couple of lunatic leaders who got involved with one Justin Trudeau, before that Stephen Harper, and they're ramping up the NWO, turning everybody to class structure. Americans don't understand this. They keep calling it communism, so Canadians do it too. That is the ultimate $12 trillion trick, because it's a $12 trillion war of the Commonwealth against the United States of America and Russia. India's woken up. I'm extremely lucky to have so many world-class experts in India. They're fighting the narrative too. They're not going to go with Boris Johnson and NWO leader Justin Trudeau. Whomever you elect will just be an NWO leader, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't matter which party. Unless they're talking absolute constitutionalism and real conventions by world-class experts in every community, in every minority language, every reserve, every location in Canada, for all the peoples of Canada, represented in every language worldwide, available in Canada. If they're not talking about that for every adult over the age of 18 in Canada, they're never going to fix nothing, and they're only going to rape, murder, destroy you. Destroy, rape, maim, murder your children. And if you don't believe me, it's been done so many times. Homosexuals, deaf people, mentally handicapped, blind. The First Peoples entirely. Even now till today. Canada's done this many, many times. The Acadians. Canadians. They just keep doing it. Because there's no rules of governance to stop it. That's our way forward. That's our way out of this, folks. Hope that answered your question. Sharing here. So my daughter-in-law class today had RCMP office telling them about RCMP. The woman was really proud to answer my daughter's questions. Do you have to sign an oath to the Crown? Oh, cool. Oops. Crown NF Lieutenant teacher was asked a question and never answered that question. Exactly. I'm sorry, everybody. Teachers, professors, lawyers, doctors, dentists, all public servants. We can go on and on, folks. Everyone working for the government has to sign an oath. Nurses, ambulance drivers, all police, all military. It's not their fault. It's the Crown institution, outlawed in this world, which was the Nazi system, folks, that Canada was the first to construct, and they always stayed just under the radar. And they take the First Peoples land, that Crown land, 89% of Canada. It's not available to any of you, not the First Peoples, not any Canadian, not of the second and third class. And they let their friends make money on it. They get their kickbacks, fill up their back pocket, hand you the bill. But what if we could change all that? Talk about land back. What if we had a real settlement for the First Peoples of Canada? What if we could entice Republicans and Democrats to actually join in this under the Richard Nixon platform, and all of a sudden we reinstitute the American Indian in the new settlement available in Canada? We combine the peoples as what all First Peoples in Canada want. Same people, same continent. Why don't we do that? I know what I'm doing, and I know where I'm going. I shouldn't have spilled this much, but you know what? We're at that point. I waited for it. This is the month Most of this will be backed up in a YouTube video anyway. So be privileged. You're the ones who know what's going on here. We will transform the United States. We will wake them up to what's going on. Because America first, ladies and gentlemen. Why not the American Indian first? Thanks. That was a good question. And statement about the teacher. Everyone thinks Ford is saving the money, doing away with license plate stickers, the digital system coming with safety checks on your vehicle. People are so blind. Absolutely, there's much of that. What happened with the convoy? How did you guys like watching the crowdfunding war? Crowdfunding a war of Ukraine versus Russia. Oh, that's acceptable. Jail all the Canadian convoy truckers. They've got Bitcoin. They've got all of it, guys. They've got all of it. In the wrong hands, without, don't get me wrong, digital currency, crypto, all the, it's not a bad thing when you have rules of governance, how to govern, and absolute accountability of those in charge of the systems. We have none of that in Canada. So it's always to exploit the third-class taxpayer, i.e. the slave. That's what we are, slaves. A lot of the second class are too. There's only enough life rafts from the first class for half. And with all the foreign businesses, have a look at them. There's no more left for any of the domestic business owners. It's only a matter of time before you're down in the third class. Thanks for the statement on Ford and the license plate. June 28th will be a big day. Yeah, and South Africa went through it for 9 years. So it's a long process, guys. But we need chiefs to report. And that's where the hope is. Again, we can lead a horse to water, but we can't make him drink. And so many of you, First Peoples, friends of mine, are going to be participating in this. Me and Tina almost got it finished. It is very difficult, everybody, to put these projects together. I've done lots in the past, but it usually takes me several weeks. And then the final product is less than 20 minutes. And you go, wow, how many man hours did you put into that? But I know people want to see the documents. You want an oration. You want videos explaining. You want to make it easy for everybody step by step. And I get that. It's not something I can run through YouTube or Facebook Live on or write down and share out. It's something that has to be presented and talked about and explained so that you can go present that. What else we got here? Oh, please don't. Oh, that was, sorry, that was Ian Bjorkman. Sorry, Ian, I guess that was you. Good to see you. What does it take to remove everyone like Iceland? Oh, got that. Uh-oh. Might have to get Tina. Jeez, it keeps scrolling right back in order. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm going to have to ask, do you guys mind? I'm so sorry. It's Facebook, and I jeez, I gotta get Tina. Tina, can you come help me? I can't scroll the questions anymore. Sorry. I'll wave hi and say hi to everybody. Don't worry, it's over here. Let's say a quick hi.
Hi.
Poor Tina's doing a lot of work. Sorry, everybody, but I can't. I tried, and every time I scroll, it goes back, and it won't show me all the comments. Oh, there she's laughing. She don't swear, Tina. Like I never follow that. I wonder why you're so far back in time.
Okay, what was your last one, baby?
I wonder why that's playing. Can you turn it down and just look at the comments?
I don't know.
I'm just trying to...
Okay.
Oh, Curtis Morin. There won't be any war. I shut off all the pumps, put them under my name. Oh, yeah. Is there a reset? Is ending it this week or sometime this month? I'm not sure. Oh, thanks, Jonathan. Great work. Kyle, so Boris, Joe, Trudy, the Axis Force for NW2 on world stage. Their first class status, third class brain, second class bank account. Well said, Kyle. Yeah. Who's their handlers? There is no handlers. The politicians regulate everything, Kyle. All Canadians First Peoples. The NWO is political run by the elected or appointed politicians. Billionaires, sure, they want this, they want that, but there'll never be a shortage of that. The laws your country puts in place and how those billionaires operate and invest in your country is up to you, the people, but we don't get a you, the people in Canada. You get corrupt politicians. We're highly corrupt. And they keep robbing, raping. Look how much money Canada's indebted, provincially, municipally, and absolutely federally. It's sick, it's depraved. There's nothing like this. The amount of debt we've taken on in a limited amount of time, who's getting all that money? Well, that's the politicians and those who they work with, who pay them. Notice how a politician finishes their time in government and goes right into an executive job on a board, meets once a month, gets multi-million-dollar salaries. These people want not, waste not for the rest of their lives. They did a job, corruption, fraud job, for somebody else. There's all kinds of them. Tina, can you scroll down?
Okay, which one was the last one?
Just scroll maybe the first 20 people's comments. We'll see. Sorry if I missed people. I probably should have had her on here. Dennis sleeping.
Gilbert Van.
Let's hear it.
Everyone thinks Ford is saving the money, doing away.
Got it already. Okay. Sorry. What about Curtis Moore? Is it?
Anger?
Curtis Moore. There it is. Find the list for every province residential school Indigenous children are buried within the lakes and the land. Summer cremated dust is still there. God bless you. Stay strong. Remember, it's every province residential school. Absolutely, Curtis. And you know what? We already have a list of all the chiefs. I have a list of absolutely all the real found bodies right now, which I'm going to do a separate list for those, all of you who get the email and the video training and the video to promote. We're going to put that through, and you guys will know which ones have bodies and how important those are. And just every chief, because bodies will be discovered. It's very early. I know it's going to be near 6,000 if we do all of it, which is way more than 3%, which in precedent means all five must destroy Canada's colonialism, wipe out all the parties just like South Africa, and absolutely void the Constitution. Impose, or they'll allow this presentation to go. Doesn't have to be by me, but it would be great to have the world experts for all of you. I want to be there, but any way we can get it, even if the UNSCP 5 imposed it itself on a basis of independence and freedom and the equality of person. We the people. And I'm sure that's what Canadians and First Peoples will get, and an absolute settlement beyond anything ever seen, even bigger than the settlement in USA, which, if anyone's ever gone to any of the USA, you'll find they all have their own constitutions. They all have massive land. There's a few, not so much, but there's some massive lands available to many peoples. We can even extend that right into Canada. And that's what makes Boris Johnson and his greasy NWO, led by Justin Trudeau, all the political parties. So Pierre Poilievre's in there like a dirty shirt. Harper he was a crafter, he was a builder on it. They're all involved. They're all guilty. Criminally guilty in world-binding law. An offense so severe, it would cost them their life. If you don't believe me, there's a pile of Africans, a pile of them who've been put to death, or worse, imprisoned in isolation until the country where they committed those atrocities is free, constitution in place, everyone's doing well. Then they release this criminal who had done such damage in their reign of terror and genocide. They get released back to the country where the country itself puts them to death, but not after liquidating everything they and their family own and giving it to the victims of their atrocities. That's what we can do for the First Peoples. It's much, much more money than what the third class is promised to pay in civil liability, which is nothing at all. Doesn't bring anyone back, doesn't put any narrative good forward. Okay, Tina, what do you got there?
Tammy Douglas says, since I'm still learning, how many treaty chiefs are there? Is there a certain number that need to be on board?
Not at this time. It's a great question. There's thousands, but we're going to target specifically absolutely all of those who have discoveries, but we're going to give it out to all the chiefs in a general release and all at the same time, and you're all going to get broken down into your emails. So just do for a week straight, maybe 25 emails so you don't get charged money, send them out, then 25 more on your list. With the numbers we have of everybody, it would take basically maybe 200 each, which isn't bad. It's one presentation, and we're going to go over your address letter. We're going to go through all of that. There's lots, you guys. Thanks for the question. It's a good question. But for sure, we're going to hit absolutely those who have bodies discovered by ground penetrating radar. And just so everybody knows, the UNSC and the ICC accept ground penetrating radar. This isn't Canada's corrupt courts. This is the ICC.
If Trudeau, this one is Gilbert Vent. If Trudeau is on his own, once Bindon and Boris are gone, will Trudeau be allowed to continue?
Trudeau can continue in this narrative until we do the residential school genocide. We need something that empowers the P5 to act. I can tell you, all those years ago for Africa, UK and USA did not want to act. They wanted to refuse it. They didn't want to do any civil rights like one Richard Nixon. It's really sad. America needs a monumental amount of education too. They absolutely need an amendment, but we're not there. It may not come for some time, but we can watch the rest of the Constitution reset the country. Biden will be gone. So will Boris too. UK, he's already lost a pile of highly intelligent, sophisticated individuals who've boosted him and supported him for so many years. They've all walked away in the last few months. Now with Ukraine, he's left fending for themselves. He's trying to do populism. Joe Biden's doing it too. They accuse Trump of it. Guess what? Those three lunatics are all populists too. Liars, thieves, degenerates, all lies. They're no better, in fact, much worse than Donald Trump. As bad as what he did, these individuals are much, much worse. Trudeau does it legally in Canada, but Canada is illegal on the world stage. And if we do this right, regardless of Boris Johnson, Joe Biden, America and UK will join, at least abstain. And so far it's been abstention. Thanks for the question.
Kyle Kowalczyk says, so Boris, Joe, Trudy, the Axis force of NWO on world stage, they're the first class status, third class brain, second class bank account.
I read that
Who's
one. We got that. It was an awesome comment, Kyle.
Yeah.
Very good. Well said.
Okay, then we'll just go on. Sherilyn McCullum says they are giving themselves another raise while increasing the BS carbon tax.
Yep. It's exactly how it works, everybody. First class, all the rewards. You get the pain of socialism. All the problems of capitalism go to you, the third class. You, the Canadian Indian. And then you know what? The first class get all the perks of it. Capitalism works out the revenues, that goes to your first class. Socialism, all the benefits of socialism go to the first class. They don't have to pay for tickets. They don't have to pay for nothing. Pure socialism. It's sick. All the rewards, none of the pains, none of the problems. You all get that. You get the bill.
Kevin Portress.
Okay, yeah.
In New Brunswick, we have a national chief speak at all our rallies. I think he wants you to come to New Brunswick.
Oh,
Ever
well,
think about coming to New Brunswick to share your knowledge?
I did already. I went and did the whole tour of New Brunswick. All I have left is PEI, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland. That's all I have left in Canada to do. 3 left. Sorry, 3. That's it. I did New Brunswick. It's too bad. I wish I would have hooked up with you then. Because I went all over the whole way around. The Giant Lobster, did that. We signed up a bunch of people in New Brunswick. It was very good. It was very good. Yeah, me and Ian, we did the tour, Ian Bjorkman. But maybe we'll have to swing by again.
Chris Obermeyer says, social credit scores being implemented already. How do we stop it?
You can't stop anything with the government now. That's the problem, folks. Once you elect a government, unless Governor General drops the writ on advice from the Prime Minister, which he won't, unless the opposition passes a no confidence vote, they won't. Liberals, NDP, Bloc, we're in a lot of trouble here, folks. This is the problem with Canada. The only way to fix it is this residential school genocide, unless you want to do it by violence. Russia shows you how to fix it. That's precedence too. The legal path to independence. That's legal too. How many Canadians are going to rebel? Not enough, I can tell you that right now. Political and this residential school genocide, that's how it's fixed. You can thank the First Peoples if they go through with this. The Chiefs, they go through with it, we keep this alive. That's how we fix it. That's the only legal way I know with the least amount of damage. I don't like violence either. That's the only path I have. I'm sorry, everybody. Besides winning a federal election, that's the only other way. Being ready for the next election, which is more than 3 years away. We just had one. Justin Trudeau just had one. He's probably going to run for 4 years straight. There's no stopping him. That's a sad reality. Every province runs this way. Absolutely, even worse, fully autocratic. There is no mechanism to force a vote. Once you're premier, you got your 4 years and there's no stopping it till you hit the polls if you don't want to. A lot of Canadians don't realize this. This isn't how most of the countries in the world operate. This hasn't operated since Nazi Germany. There's only 3 of us in the world left that operate like this. There's others who got independence, who took portions of the crown, all members of the Commonwealth. It's sick. It's wrong. Russia and USA have to come back to this. We have to do that work together. Thank you for the question.
Just a comment from Wendy Lavalley. Kyle Kowalchuk, you forgot to mention Krista Freeland, turned second, just finding out she is neo-Nazi.
Oh yeah, they all are. It's, you guys, the best thing to say, I know the word Nazi strikes in the hearts and minds. That's what Russia does too, but what Russia's should be saying is crown customary law. It's the fact that Ukraine is going into a colonial style system, exactly like Nazi Germany. And yes, the swastika's out, but with or without the swastikas, Germany was identical to UK. Germany identical to UK. Look what they did in Africa. Look what they did in South America. Look what they did in Asia. Look what they all did in North America. And it goes on and on. The Dutch, the Spanish, the Portuguese. There's 7 world-powered colonials. They've all were on the Axis power side except for UK and France. And the only reason why, they got their butts handed to them by Germany. World War I and II were colonial wars. Russia, USA did not get involved till the end. And then they made rules called the Atlantic Charter 1941, which dirty Joe Biden and corrupt Boris Johnson signed the 2021 Charter, removing all of the essence of decolonization and ending crown. Now clearly Joe Biden supports all of it. He wants to destroy America. He wants to take a crap on American independence and turn it into a class structure state not of 50 states. He wants Unitarianism. He wants destroy Senate democracy, remove the filibuster, take away the power of each and every state. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You can't have a functioning federalism like the United States without it. And he wants to remove it, which means he doesn't want a functional states. He wants a Unitarian system, a force against the American people. Good luck with that, Joe. You're finished. You should not have gotten in bed with Justin Trudeau and Boris Johnson. That's a fact. Go ahead, Tina.
So Tammy Douglas says, hi, Tina. I want to say a big shout out. Hi, Tammy. How you doing, girl? Tammy Douglas says, I live in Brantford, and I hardly hear anything about the ground penetration at the residential school.
It's a slow process, guys. These things take years. I know that. And don't forget, there's no crowdfunding for that. These people are doing it on their own. And remember, Justin Trudeau's got the federal purse. Doug Ford for the province of Ontario, the provincial purse. They're not able to collect their own taxes. A lot of what you know of reserves and the First Peoples is completely wrong. Sure, they don't pay tax, but they're not allowed to collect taxes. They get basically whatever the federal and provincial governments say they get. And you jump to how we say you jump. You do the crown the way we tell you to do it, or you get nothing. And you can all see that isn't a good system. That is the essence of human rights violations. Pure colonial genocide. Wrong, wrong, wrong. And still, Canada does this year after year. It's sick. It's sad. I don't know what to say. It's gross.
Johnny Charon says, you got that right. You should see the flags and banners on people's homes here in New York. Let's go, Brandon, everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. I like that, especially New York. Yeah.
Tammy Douglas says it's a horrible system. I agree, Tammy.
It's horrible, everybody. Is that about it?
Yep.
Okay.
Anybody else got anything
else? Oh, I think. Yep, it's a horrible system. I'm watching. Is that it, everybody? I'm looking at last comments. Going once, twice. Sold. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's going to be a big month of work. It is going to be quiet. I mean, I'll still do my videos, but you can already see I'm hard at it. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Tammy.
Take care. God bless. God
Much
bless
love.
the Creator. We're going to get this done. Little people can make a difference. It's up to each and every one of you. Share the video and all its imperfections, blanks and points. It's worth it. Get it out there. People need to see this stuff. Thank you. Bye now.